This episode of Limit Break Radio is made possible by our generous Patreon donors, including Tide Drago of Sargentanus, Mars Angel of Belmung, and Yo Koinonia of Diabolos. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to support Limit Break Radio, visit patreon.com/limitbreakradio.
Coming up this week on Checkpoint Radio, Overwatch League Stage 3 playoffs are in the book. We've got results and analysis, but more importantly, are you getting fatigued on OWL as a fan? Plus, we'll play another round of Name That Price with VR components. That's all coming up on your source for esports and video game discussions, Checkpoint Radio from Westwood One. Join me, Nate, Robbie Norris, and Joe for Checkpoint Radio. Listen on demand Tuesdays at our website at checkpointradio.com.
It's 30 minutes to dinner time and you have a full litter of kittens to feed? What is a single working cat girl to do? Never fear, Choco Helper is here. Our boxed pasta dinners go from zero prep to mealtime in under 20 minutes. Simply brown some chocobo meat, add the seasoned packet in noodles, and cook for 10 minutes. Presto! Dinner is served. Enjoy popular flavors like chocobo fried rice with Thavnarian onions, blood pepper choco chives, or crackabos and popatos. Find Choco Helper in the boxed meal section of your local market board. Choco Helper. It's what's for Choco dinner.
Live from Eorzea.
Limit Break. With your hosts, Unhero.
Now behold the horror you have wrought.
Kahlo.
I said don't take your clothes off.
Juxtaposition.
I don't get it.
Ascalia.
Holy shit, totally forgot about him.
And Mika.
Oh my god.
LimitBreakRadio.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Limit Break Radio, episode 158. Happy to have you guys along. Twitch.tv/LimitBreakRadio. If you happen to be listening on the podcast and you find yourself with time on Sunday, then head on over to Twitch.tv/LimitBreakRadio every Sunday, because we would love for you to join us live here on Twitch. You can also join us by calling the show. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. I'm joined today by Kahlo. What's going on, Kahlo?
Hey, what's up? And I want to send just a really quick to everyone out there. Fucking call today. We're training a new intern, and if you don't call, he doesn't learn.
That's right. Congratulations to Lloyd. Also, congratulations to Nika, and happy Mother's Day for your bajillions of children that you take time off to have. I understand you're going to be having another one shortly.
2 weeks, yep, another one, like my 82nd or something like that.
Oh, well, congratulations to you. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers listening out there. Don't let your kids listen to this show for sure. They'll definitely grow
or
up to
do.
No, don't. I don't want to be responsible for a kid listening to this shit and then repeating what he hears.
To be fair, if the parents let them listen, they're responsible.
That's true. That's true. But then you get angry parents like, I can't believe that you would say this on Twitch, and then they report us to Twitch, and then Twitch gets all angry with us. But that's a lie. Twitch has actually never gotten angry with us.
I was gonna say,
for all of the dumb stuff that we have ever done on the show, and there is a ton of it, whether it's been calling out a YouTube channel so bad that it ended up closing, or starting
rolling all of your shirts up for your beautiful cleavage.
I mean, yes, there was that in solidarity with Zoe what's her nuts, and then there was there was the tattoo, right?
Oh yeah, I feel like the tattoo alone
tattoo
probably
alone,
should've.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
What about the body shots Robbie did off of Jeff?
oh God! I mean, there have been a lot of things. There's
I'm using my Mutinica.
There've been a lot of things that have happened on this channel that have been somewhat unpleasant. Anyway, yeah. So, welcome to Limit Break Radio. If you want to join us live, of course, in Sergeant Tannis, you can do that. We are in the Goblet 5th Ward, plot number 30. You can visit the Limit Break Radio studios, which we'll pop over to there. So we invite you to wave at the camera, take your clothes off for the camera. You can do all of the naughty things that Square Enix does not want you to do on Twitter. You can just do them here. That's fine. You can do your dirt here.
I was gonna say we just had some. I'm hoping that was a human, not a Roganin, just bouncing her tits in front of the camera.
No, that was definitely a Roganin, and it was gross.
Super gross.
Following podcast will give your children anal leakage, so listener discretion is severely advised.
Why does our podcast cost anal leakage of all things?
I don't know. I don't ask questions anymore.
Also, Rogan and boobies are the biggest, which makes them the best.
God, why?
Welcome back, and this is Yoshida, hashtag praise Juxta.
It's not all about size, Nika, because I'm pretty sure that Skuro has some pretty big ones as well.
Anyway, so obviously I was not here last episode.
I think we should just move right into what we have planned for today's show, because we have a lot of it, right?
We do, actually.
We're down a man.
There is a lot. But I dare not even call it a show last week, what you guys did.
I mean, that's fair.
It was less than an hour.
We tried.
Was it?
Did you though? Did you actually?
I could have swore we went over an hour.
I don't.
No, we did go over an hour.
Nah.
Yeah, I was actually pleasantly surprised at how much content we got out of our last show.
Don't call it that.
It was definitely content. It was some kind of content.
Reading fanfics is content.
The definition of content is what is inside of the show, and the show had content. I teach my children this every week when I talk to them about the table of contents. The contents are what's inside the book.
Oh, man, you are reaching to the bottom of the barrel right
whatever's
now.
inside of our show.
What was inside of the last episode was weird boners. That's the only thing.
Wait, you got a boner from that?
I didn't, but I'm sure somebody did. But that's the only content of that show.
No, we talked.
You read bullshit off of Reddit, and then you read fucking fanfics.
We watched the Final Fantasy 12 being perfect for a Eorzea thing. Or we talked about it.
Evilise being perfect.
Yeah, Evilise, that thing.
Content, aka what was inside of Aniero.
The only thing you'll find inside of me is a lot of whiskey farts and anger.
Rage. Salt.
Yeah, right. Anyway, so yeah, no, that I thoroughly apologize for last week's episode because this is, of course, this is all my fault.
Okay, you know what?
100%.
Because I didn't have power. You guys couldn't come up with a decent episode.
Let's meet on middle ground here.
I sat around in this fucking apartment all weekend with just no power.
Ball for Nika, since she doesn't need boobs.
I mean,
a ball fund, I guess. That's weird. Okay. Look, there's some middle ground to find here.
Prosthetic ball? I mean, I know there are prosthetic balls. I know that there are. They make them for dogs, but hold on. You know what? Actually, that might be one of the cheaper things. I feel like all we would have to do. I mean, she would have to find some place to get semen, put the semen in the ball, and then press a button to like eject it, and then she basically has penis and balls.
Trans men can get penises, right? So
you're deflecting off of the terrible. All
right, look, you're right.
Was the last
show
episode.
Was bad, okay? First of all,
it wasn't good.
I had like 5 hours to prepare that show, okay? So we were all hit, like blindsided by the fact that you didn't have power, because we did have a great show planned. All right, we did. And to be fair, after the show,
what happened? Why couldn't you just do the great show that you had planned?
Because we need the drop. We need the
we needed
board.
You and
the audio.
Oh yeah, well
So,
clearly.
but to be fair, the stream we did afterwards was fantastic, and if I remember correctly,
why didn't I fucking podcast that
shit? Even tweeted directly at you saying how amazing it was.
I don't recall that.
I can find the tweet.
I don't recall that
I can
at
find
all.
the
I think
tweet.
you're a dirty fucking liar. Anyway, I personally apologize for last week's episode. I'm using air quotes for episode because, yes, I was without power for 3 days. I was trapped in this goddamn apartment with no water, no power.
You had a cat, though.
I had a cat, but I had to go out and procure water for the cat and I.
Did you know we can provide electric services with the same quality of our high-speed internet service?
Thank you, Comcast. I'm assuming that's who that was.
Good thing you live right next to a river, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, except I wasn't going out to the river. I had to go out to the places that had power, which was, I mean, you had to drive at least 4 or 5 miles to find a place that had power. At least I wasn't alone in that regard, but it was weird. It was dude, it was definitely like I had some kind of like echoes of Fallout going on there. Like, you would go out, it would be noon, right? And you would go out into the hallway. Now, the hallway has no exterior windows, so it would be pitch fucking black in the hallway.
Did you turn the light on your Pip-Boy?
No, I had a gigantic flashlight that I kept with me basically at all times.
All right, well, be careful because the light can spook ghouls sometimes. It makes it easier to spot you if you're trying to stealth.
Well, dude, I'll tell you what. There was one night where I came down to the first floor. It was about 2 a.m. because I kept going out to my car to recharge my portable batteries, right? Well, but I mean, like, okay, so...
No, I get it.
Right? Like, there's no power, so you throw your cell phone into mobile hotspot mode, and you've got the iPad. I was watching live TV. I was watching CNN in a power outage, right? I had people knocking on my door asking me how the fuck I had power. I was like, it's just a battery pack, right? But I was charging them out in my car. It was like...
They offered him 500 caps for it.
It was like 2 a.m., right? And I've got my super bright flashlight, and I come down to the first floor. Jesus
At least you wouldn't go hungry with the Mrs. Freshly snack cakes in the vending machine.
Vending machines don't
Vending
work,
machine
bro!
didn't have power unless I was willing to break the glass, which I wasn't. I'm not a fucking savage. Anyway, so I've got the flashlight, and it... God damn it!
It's Mother's Day episode, you should have had Escalia, and one of her fertilized eggs on the show.
What?
The fuck?
We had the weirdest listeners, I swear to God.
To be fair, that was Frumpy Raccoon, so he's basically Juxta.
Fair enough. Anyway, so I've got the flashlight, and I shine it down the hall, and I think I see something like maybe past the elevators, but on the other side of the hallway. And as I get closer, it like just kind of like vroom, like moves into the wall. Like, it was fucking bizarre, dude. I didn't even know what that said. What was it?
I want my bits back since you hate us donating too fucking bad.
Get fucking bent. Anyway, but yeah, it was weird. I think this building is legitimately haunted.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it's terrifying. Anyway, all right, so we do have a lot to talk about, and we've kind of wasted enough time talking about my ghost story. Let's check out what's going on in FF14 news.
This is a limit-breaking news update.
So one of the big announcements that should excite all fans of Square Enix, not just, us FF fans, is that they have confirmed that they will actually have a bigger presence at E3 this year in the form of a showcase. Now, it will be taking place on June 11th at 10 a.m. PDT. What might we get a taste of? Kingdom Hearts 3?
I would think so.
Final Fantasy VII Remake?
I mean, come on.
They better.
They need to have some... If they're doing a showcase, they've got to bring something.
Wait.
Hang on. Square Enix, like Thanos the Mad Titan, has been collecting developers over about the last 10 years. Mm-hmm. So they've got, what, IDOS underneath them? They've got a couple of, like fairly decent developers.
Right.
I think
so you're implying he's gonna slaughter half of them.
Maybe. But
well,
I mean, that would be the most entertaining showcase, right? That would put EA in its place severely. Like, come on, up that EA. But no. What I think is, I just think that they've got a good lineup of stuff to show off.
More than any other time, I think Kingdom Hearts 3 is now probably primed for it. I wouldn't get your hopes up. Just shield yourself.
Fuck off! It's happening. Come on,
I'm pretty sure they're going to announce at least the release date at E3.
All right, maybe. I don't think we should expect any FF7 remake stuff after the news that they've started from scratch with it. But what about Season 3 DLC for Final Fantasy 15?
Actually, they probably will because they've announced that they're going to do like the Luna, Arden, and RNA episodes. They might showcase some of that.
That was supposed to be a joke.
No, but it's like legit. If they want a good showcase, they will give us all 3 of these things.
You said Season 3. I think that's where you missed the joke.
Okay, well, Season 2 of DLC would be what they said.
Okay,
but regardless, if they don't show Kingdom Hearts 3, FF7 Remake, and FF15 stuff, then I don't know.
I hope that they show something.
Here's Nika, and here's the joke. It's just like
right over her head.
It made an incredible arc over her head.
Well, I mean, there's been so many like releases of DLC. I don't know what's considered seasons anymore. Like, there's been a lot of DLC for that game. We all know this.
Okay. Anyway, there's also going to be a live letter from the producer that will take place the following Tuesday.
Yeah.
And, of course, there will be battle challenges as well with the new 4.3 Primal. So, we joked...
do we know what the 4.3 Primal is? Did they announce that in the live letter? Do we know?
I don't think that they...
No.
No.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we joked on last week's, and I'll do air quotes here, show that Square Enix news was so light that they didn't even have any optional items to release. Well, don't worry, they do this week.
Oh my God.
You can now buy like these wings and like robes that makes you, one's the demonic one black and the other one's angelic white.
I hate these things.
They used to be in that. They were Chinese exclusive, weren't they?
I fucking hate
what they were.
These things.
But we always get the shit that goes in the Chinese store. But the worst thing about these things is that you cannot detach the wings from the robes, and the robes are ugly.
No. The worst thing about these things is that they're $18 fucking dollars.
All right, that's true.
$18.
Well, you get the whole set. They don't. You can't just buy one piece.
It doesn't matter. We look. When we sit here and try to rationalize, okay, they're out, so let's talk about them seriously. No, you need to throw back in Square Enix's face the fact that they are releasing optional items like every other week. The amount of development time could be spent on putting actual cool items that we want to get in the game.
Again, to be fair, those were already developed in the Chinese version.
Just take this shit free to play. Just take this shit free to play because
I'd have no problem with any of it that way.
Yeah, no, I'll stop complaining as soon as this goes free to play. Yeah. Then I can ignore it. But every time I see someone in this fucking game that's wearing one of these, I want to stab them.
Because you spent $18.
I have seen several people. Several people. I just doing goddamn roulettes. Like, I haven't been doing anything more than fucking capping tomes, every week, right?
More than I'm doing.
Well, congratulations, Nika.
You know it's going to be super hilarious?
I raid, but I don't really cap tomes.
Because I don't think you can't gift cash shop item stuff yet, can you? You can?
I think you can.
Oh, how have people not just started gifting you all of these things that you hate, Aniro?
I have no idea.
That'd be hilarious.
No, it would be a waste because I would instantly drop them. I would go
up to the show wearing them.
No, are you fucking kidding me? I would be on the show on stream dropping them, going, "You never fucking spend this money on me again. Don't ever fucking do this."
I'm still waiting for someone to gift me that segue. It's the only way I'm going to get it.
Nika.
I want it so bad.
At least I respect you for not spending the money on the goddamn
It's not that I don't want to.
Nika Blart Mall Cop
Sharon won't let me.
Senpai put his foot down.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Good good guy Senpai here in this instance. Like, way to go. Every week he kind of fucks with our moment of silence that we have to get before the show. I'm willing to forgive all of that for this. This makes up for all of that.
Great. And now we're going to do another exciting edition of Why Wasn't This in the Game during A Realm Reborn? SE has released a Lodestone post with a bunch of upcoming quality of life changes, such as forced boss room entry. Now, if you get locked out of the boss room, you can go into the boss room.
Oh my God.
What?
Stop
What's the point of the lockout? Anyway, wow.
Well, if you die in release, you cannot get back in that way. So, all right, fine. But again, why wasn't something like this just in there to begin with? Or why didn't it do what it did back in FF11 7 and just pull everybody into the boss room.
That's what I was sort of expecting.
Yeah.
Was that it would do a draw-in.
Yep. Unique markers.
If that was the case, though, I would start running backwards in every fucking dungeon.
Well, because now the thing is, you can still sit outside like, oh, sorry, guys, I missed it. But now you better be AFK for the whole fight, or they're going to be like, why don't you just come in and help us then?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Unique markers for pets. Pets such as turrets and eggies will now have unique markers on the map instead of looking the same as players. I guess that was an issue.
Yeah, no, it has been before. I've been like, wait, we're leaving a player behind, or like it's really confusing on the mini map, but it's actually just
it's just like how long
it's a quality
are you
of life thing.
How long are you confused? How long does that confuddle your little mind?
Especially
there,
considering, can't you hover over it and it tells you what it is?
Yes.
Maybe, but I use controller most of the time.
Oh my god.
Oh jeez.
Oh my god.
Enhanced achievement feature. This is a new feature added that will show you when you are near to completing an achievement, or if there is one available in the zone that you are in.
I mean, does anyone do achievement hunting?
No, because it's shitty in this game.
I just not.
The random cash shop side of the campaign has begun. All participants will receive one round scurry feather.
A scurry feather?
I don't. It's Frumpy Raccoon.
Jesus Christ. Lay off the drugs, Frumpy.
But that achievement shop really is just putting veteran rewards in there, right? If they put like actual legit things, like if they gave us stuff from the cash shop in the achievement shop too,
or if titles were actually cool,
I would do achievement hunting if that was the case.
Maybe.
Because I would buy the Segway with achievement points for show.
Improved savage content warning. Now, Nika, make sure that I have this right, because I actually had to look over this a few times just to make sure this is correct. But basically, if you're in a group and they're going to, let's say, go into Savage 3, when you haven't completed 1 or 2 yet, it warns you that what you're going into is further along in your progress, and that you will lose the right to any rewards that you would have gotten for doing turn 1 and 2 until next week. Is that correct?
Like, that is true, but what are they adding? They're changing the message?
They're adding it, so now a little pop-up message basically pops up, so you have to consent to going in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because there's a lockout each week. So once you clear one tier, if you clear it again, you can't roll on loot.
Okay,
that's a thing. So if you go into the third boss and you haven't done 1 or 2, it locks you out from 1 or 2.
Okay, but unlike in World of Warcraft, where I get when something like this happens, because all bosses exist within the same instance, so if you go in and they're half dead, you don't get to roll on stuff that's already dead. These are each in completely different instances. So why would going into 3 lock you out of 1 and 2?
Oh, it's always done that. Since Coil.
Yeah.
It's been like that. Just because it's a weekly lockout, because they want you to go in once per week, and like you cannot go into number 2 until you've cleared number 1. So if somebody pulls you into number 2, it then locks you out of number 1. Yeah. You can still go into one, but you can't roll on
after you've cleared all 4 each week, you still have to beat them in order. You can't just queue up for the final one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Until they put it into the duty finder with pugs, then you can do them in any order.
All right. Well, I guess add on to my list of reasons why I don't do endgame rating, because it's fucking stupid.
No, I mean, I guess I understand that, because it forces progression, right? Like,
I guess.
I mean, like, yeah, like your first time through, I think that it should be forced progression.
Yeah,
but, I mean, after that, you should probably be able to
it's
pick
not too bad though, because now we just log in on Tuesdays, clear the first 3 in like 1 or 2 shots, and then we move on to the 4th one. It's not,
yeah, but
and
it's
that
almost,
way you still get the books.
Almost
you still
a waste
get
of time. Like, is it at some point?
Eventually, like the first one. The first one's pretty moot at this point,
right? Like because of loot distribution, everyone has pretty much every combination of everything that they could want from those first two turns, and now like it becomes a waste of time and loot.
Sort of, but we all have like secondary jobs we want to gear up to, so like I'm not too upset about having to get paladin gear too, because I want that. All right,
well, I'm just glad I don't raid. And then this last one really took me for a loop. Prioritizing display for party members. You know how there's too many people on screen sometimes, it doesn't load everybody in? Well, now the game will make sure that it loads in your party before it loads in anybody else.
This should have been put in from the moment hunts were put in.
Yeah.
Or Odin, the moment Odin was put in the game.
So from the beginning, this should have been in from the beginning?
Yeah, there's really no excuse that this would have taken this long.
Yeah, and that's all the news that we have for today, guys. Woo!
All right. Well, we still got a lot to talk about. Of course, we've got the producer live letter Patch 4.3 dropping May 22nd, and it's called Under the Moonlight.
Yeah, so hopefully next week we'll be talking pre-patch notes.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
Maybe.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Last time we were kind of banking on that. It didn't end up working out too well. No, it did not work out well. So, of course, we've also got a brand new trailer for 4.3. We're going to go ahead and break that down. We're just going to run through it once for,
just to see the full thing.
Right.
And then we'll go back and pick it apart.
Yeah, we're going to go back without sound and go back and kind of analyze the trailer. So as I prepare to get this on screen here,
I think you missed the news segment. The show progressed into a BMW session. Bitch, moan, and whine.
I just think that, dude, those quality of life updates could have been in there fucking 3 years ago.
Yeah, or
there's really no excuse for that.
Plus, you should we be going like, hands over head and like happy and awesome because they put demon and angel wings in the game?
I know, right?
Like for real?
Seriously.
For real? We may have our head up our asses. I'm not saying that that's not a thing. That's very possible. But I'd rather have my head up my own ass than up Square Enix's ass.
$18?
$18.
I'm still just appalled that you can't separate the wings from the jacket. It's dumb, and the jacket's not cool looking at all. I'd like to make like the shirt that I have right now with wings would be cool.
Oh my God, I don't even know how to respond to that.
You know what? Somebody do me a favor really quick and let us know in chat.
How is $18 not your fucking...
No, $18. Like, I mean, I would only also just want to buy only the wings. It's $18 for all. It's $18 for all 5 pieces. If I could pay $5 for wings that I could attach to any glamour, I would pay $5.
Listen. I understand that I'm having a Grandpa Simpson moment here, and I'm yelling at my fucking the kids.
The clouds.
I'm yelling at the clouds and the fucking kids to get off my lawn. I get that. I understand that, but $18? Are you shitting me?
No, that's dumb.
That's like 9 meals for me. I could eat 9 meals off of $18.
I wouldn't admit that publicly. It's not. That's sad. It is. I mean, it's a fact. It's a sad fact. That's what that is.
Yeah, I mean, if every single meal is ramen noodles, then yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's take a look at the 4.3 trailer for Under the Moonlight.
To the very depths I have sunk.
It's very fixated on her lips.
Spite rotten to the core.
Oh, Under the Moonlight, I get it.
Explain it, because I don't.
We're under the moonlight.
Very literally. Fucking Christ, I hate all of you.
How can it be? He took his own life after the battle in Alamigo.
Jump cut!
Wow, that was a really dramatic and not so...
so anticlimactic. My God. Smash cut.
Soul stones. Was that a soul stone for a job we already have? What was that soul stone?
Our new friends will be
we'll figure out in a minute.
Contend with a foe for whom death is but a minor inconvenience.
You will pay for what you have done with blood!
Oh man, we're getting kind of animal now, guys.
Now?
I have no doubt you believe what you say. The idea is inconceivable, absurd, but worthy of investigation nonetheless.
In the meeting room or the audience chamber, there I can make a difference. I can strike bargains, forge ties, and change minds.
Is he fucking finished on what?
It's like Kugane Tower hard mode or some bullshit.
I'm sorry. I'm so...
Don't.
Sorry. Here, there's is no need to cry.
Jesus.
They're doing that thing again where they're just trying to make a cool promo by mashing everything together.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get.
I miss the 8-minute trailers. Those are really cool to watch.
Or something yelled at my chat.
This seems very poorly.
Chosen agent, the hand which tolls the warning bell.
Don't worry, he's not dead.
Oh my God. What do you think this is?
That was a cool title transition there, though.
Your face is a cool title transition.
Thanks.
To being a loser.
Oh dear.
At least this patch artwork isn't evil's. Ultima.
Called the weapons refrain, Nika. Get it right.
Ultima.
Okay. All right. Well, there 10 million players.
Oh, really?
10 million players, and I can't seem to queue for Duty Finder in under 3 minutes as a tank.
And didn't you say you had a healer with you as well?
Tank and healer, and we were in Duty Finder for quite a bit.
Oh dear.
I don't.
Oh no, the George Takei reference.
Oh my!
And it's oh my that he says, yeah.
Oh my. Anyway, so there you go. That's the trailer. As we, Kahlo, you had pointed out, the trailer coming in a different format, the same format as the last one.
Second time they've done that, yeah. Where instead of just being like, here's this, here's clips from this content, here's clips from this content.
They used to do an 8-minute trailer for every patch, exploring the dungeons, exploring basically everything.
And you knew from a title card what each clip that you were looking at was from. Now they want to try and put it in a way to where it's like a movie trailer.
Yeah, it's like a mishmash of everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
They didn't even do that right, because that cut from Xenos to Evilise was just like, wait, what?
Oh, yeah, that smash cut, it was terrible.
Oh.
All right, let's go back and kind of break this trailer down and see if we can, what we can glean from the trailer, all right? So we'll go ahead and start right as it's opening on Yotsuyu. Excuse me. Now, this is interesting, though. What's with the shot of... that looks like somewhere in Korthus, doesn't it? Like, what's with the shot of Korthus?
But I don't recognize that teleport stone, though.
Yeah, me neither. I think that's actually the new Eureka.
Yes, I was just about to say that, Pagos, because we see a few other things later.
Oh, yeah, because it's supposed to be ice element, right?
Yeah,
the snowy element?
Actually, yes. Yeah, it is the snowy element. You also see the elemental thingy there. I forget what that thing is called. Magia board?
The Magia sphere,
whatever
that.
The Magia board. Yeah.
So we get a couple of looks actually at Eureka through this.
Interspersed.
Pretty much anything snowy you can kind of guarantee is going to be Eureka here. So, but at first glance though, I did think that this was somewhere in Korthus. So, as we sort of continue on, more weird, suggestive shots of Yotsuyu.
Under the moonlight. Quite literal.
And
showing a bunch of random people.
Yeah.
More moonlight.
So now I guess she's crying.
Yotsuyu is remembering how much of a bitch she is.
Do you think that's what it is? Do you think she's starting to get some of her memories back?
Wasn't that like her dad or something that she killed herself? I think.
I don't. I don't recall.
Because her mother, her dad died and her mother mistreated her. Right? She had like a Cinderella story.
Yeah. Here's my question: when she gets her memories back, do you think what she's been through so far will have changed her, or will she just go back to being her same bitchy self?
I feel like if any characters get a redemption, it should not be her. Like I'm totally okay with Fordola getting a redemption because she always had doubts in her mind, but Yotsuyu has always been this hard ass villain, and for her to also get a redemption would really bother me.
So we also see some of our Almegan pals. I don't know what we're standing around.
I hope that's a sacrificial altar.
I don't think that's probably what it's going to be.
Probably
but
not.
I mean, it might be.
Have we dug up hearts and farts?
No. Somehow I doubt it.
No, maybe we dug up Xenos' grave to then see that Xenos was alive or not.
Could be.
Because I still believe that this is not the real Xenos. I think his body's been possessed, or Alligans or Asians are doing something.
Taro in the chat weird. Saying that that's Xenos' grave. So
could just be a rock.
I was right.
How did we make was there not any? There wasn't anything left of him. Like, he disintegrated. Why did we give him a grave?
I thought he kind of disappeared into anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Because even if it's a memorial tombstone, his body wouldn't have been there in the first place. And why would we memorialize him?
And there's nothing written on it, I don't think. So I don't know. All right,
it's a rock.
We're probably making something out of nothing. But we do see the revived Xenos here. Great.
Yeah, the next thing they say is that he's taken his own life. How can it be? They definitely dug him up, saw that his body was gone, or some bullshit.
Okay, so
and then we go to
and then smash cut to Evilise. So let's just talk about. I mean, we knew from kind of the not exactly post credit sequence, but like one of the final sequences of this last patch that Xenos was still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Any predictions as to why or what is he going to do? I mean, the thing is that Square Enix built up this villain to such a degree you're going to really fucking hate him. That was one of the things that, they really tried to drive home at FanFest. I remember that distinctly.
Yep, I remember.
And, Yotsuyu was a fairly decent villain, but Xenos was just kind of like meh. So is he going to come back to do something to make him worthy of that villain mantle?
Well, one of the villains throughout FF history that I hated the most, and not in a good fun way, I think actually this has been mentioned on our show before, was Seymour. Because
I was actually just going to bring him up.
Coming back.
Because he kept coming back.
And you're just like, motherfucker, really? You again? So if they want to go that route, then they will, I think, keep their promise of us hating him.
Fair enough.
But
how is he back, though?
I have no clue.
Well, to be fair, Seymour also, when you fight Seymour, you actually kill him the first time, and then you're fighting him as like somebody who's basically Orin. He's like someone who's not who's not yet been sent to the other world. So who knows if Xenos is fully alive?
This is the difference, though. In FF10, when people are like Orin status and they're not actually dead, I don't think they actually disappear and then come back. If you're not sent, then okay, fine, you get back up and you're some weird undeady sort of thing. But Xenos' body literally vanished and was replaced by Nidhogg's eyes, who Estinian then stabbed and also disappeared. So where the fuck did he? What is he, David Blaine? Is that what he's doing? Is he David Blaining us?
I don't know. I mean, maybe that was his side gig.
A couple people in the chat are mentioning maybe he has the Echo in some shape or form, which could be possible thinking about it. Like, we know that we're not the only person with the Echo. Minfilia had it, Ysael had it, Cryo has it. Like, it's possible that either he was a chosen one who has also gone down the wrong path, kind of like Ysael did originally, or he has some kind of fake implementation of the Echo like Fordola.
Right. Let's complain about it.
People are saying he didn't vanish. So what you're saying is the scene that I remember when we all walk away and then Estinian jumps down and stabs the eyes is that we just left Xenos' body just sitting there next to the Nidhogg eyes, and like is that what you're telling me?
I mean, I don't remember. It's been a long time, and I was not that impressed with Stormblood's storyline.
Super not invested in it.
Yeah.
They're saying he's still Cryo's Echo. No, Fordola still Cryo's Echo.
Yeah.
They gave it to Fordola. Like, you saw that scene happen. If he has any fake Echo, we have not seen them officially give it to him.
I think that's an assumption. So, anyway, all right. So, Xenos is back. We're probably going to have to dispatch him again, and then he's probably going to come back again. So, I mean, in terms of a storyline, though, like, is he being cloned? Is there multiple Xenoses? Does he get revived? What is it? There's got to be some sort of direct mechanism that sort of explains him coming back, right?
The only thing that has previously happened within any of Final Fantasy XIV that would make any bit of sense to me would be if he came back in ways that quote unquote the primals have. So which we saw, like, for example, when Greg brought back Enkidu, right? His best friend. He was near a bunch of crystals, really wanted his friend to come back. He came back. But who the hell would pray for Xenos to come back?
So, okay, that kind of rules out some primal
thing.
Yeah, I don't think that would be a thing. Also, I mean, they're putting out the bandages on his neck. I'm rewatching the scene where he killed himself right now, and he basically sliced himself on the neck. So,
and he has bandages on the neck.
On his neck, yeah. Like, he takes his blade to his neck.
Okay.
I mean, of course, it shows it off screen, but he slices himself.
Did his body not disappear then? It just laid on the ground
he fell to the ground. The characters are running up to him and staring at him. He has not disappeared as of yet.
Okay. All right. So he doesn't disappear into ether. I think
eyes just randomly come from then. He just drops them.
The Shinryu body? The fading Shinryu body? Is that
his body just falls into the flowers here, and they're all staring at him.
Yeah.
So, all right. So someone took his body and potentially revived him then. All right. Well, you know what? That was fucking stupid on us for not burning the body or some shit. That's on us, guys.
So maybe that was his grave or his burial. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I think Lise might have done something to bury him because she seems pretty upset that he just like killed himself in front of her. She was pretty upset about that, I think.
Yeah.
And she feels like a responsibility as some leader now.
Yeah, maybe giving respect to the enemy or some dumb bullshit.
Yeah. So, I don't know. So, smash cut to Evilise. Well, here we are in Evilise now. So we've got, I mean, the tower, let me just say that the tower modeling looks fucking awesome.
It does. One thing they definitely nailed in the previous one, and I'm sure in this one, is environmentally, it's 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it's right on the money. And you know, you guys talked about the Evilise video last week. Yeah. And I also watched that video, and I thought it was interesting that they said, like, we're trying to make it in a way where the tactics, some of the tactic stuff gets worked in to the 12 stuff, and I think that that's kind of a cool take on it.
Yeah, it's not a direct connection, or
right.
or like where the canon for the two games are in the same world,
right?
But they wanted you to just be able to basically put it in here in a way that it also exists in Eorzea.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, sure.
And it's pretty dope. Got I think is that
Famfrit, I think, is supposed to be the first boss.
Okay. So Nika was asking what Jobstone this is. Any ideas? Does anyone? I don't really even know.
I think that is actually a Jobstone from Tactics.
Yeah. Chat, tell us. Does that look familiar?
Yeah, chat would be able to find it a lot quicker, but obviously it's nothing.
Yeah, apparently since they know everything and we don't know anything. So go ahead, chat.
Yeah, come on, school us.
It's an auracite.
Still, what's the symbol mean? That's what we want to know. Geomancer.
Taurus auracite? That's
pretzel mage.
Someone says Belias. Okay, all right.
Thought we called Belias in the
but if it's from Tactics, it's just it's a Taurus auracite from Tactics.
Okay, all right, fair enough. All right.
But the thing is that it's definitely created in 14's like graphic system like a Jobstone.
Yeah.
So like,
if they're gonna
it may be a Taurus auracite in Tactics, but I think in looking at it in the 14 trailer, it is a Jobstone.
Hold on, because remember the whole thing in Tactics is the whole Zodiac Brave story and finding the Zodiac Stone. So if they find a way to sort of weave the Zodiac Stone story into 14 somehow, that might actually be interesting. I'm kind of into that a little bit.
I mean, there've always been little hints and references to Evilise all throughout FF14, even going back to the original Zodiac Braves storyline with the with the weapons.
Right,
so you know, there is that connection. There's always been a very strong Evilise connection with FF14, and now we've got what are these guys called? I forget what they're
the
Bangas.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
That's as close to what Jux is ever going to really get to a bang mage.
Yeah.
When he talks about bang maging stuff, he's just having sex with those.
Ew.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
That's not fun. That doesn't seem like fun at all.
Gross.
Yeah.
Weirdo.
So yeah, just one of those as a mage. That's a bang mage, right?
Yep.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. All right. So yeah, again, the environment looks fascinating.
Amazing.
I can't wait to check it out. It's gonna be fun.
The developers for this are definitely on point here, but
for sure. I wonder what this.
Who's the second boss here?
Yeah, I don't know who the second boss is, and I don't know what this like.
There will be blood.
Like, there's this moment.
Praise the bongo bang mage.
God damn it, from V. Raccoon. There's this sort of like Odium vision moment that's going on here. I don't know what that's all about. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, there's this sort of this like Iron Giant thing going on. Like, you sort of see him in one scene where he's kind of like assembling himself, and then
using nanotech.
Fruit Justice.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Is there going to be Infinity War reference, like veiled Infinity War references throughout this run? I don't know. Maybe.
No, because they would have had to develop this before the movie came out.
But I already see like 2 of them that they could already make. All right. Anyway,
that might just be us.
Yeah, probably
just drawing our
but again, we get to see this kind of drawing mechanic that we saw in Ozma.
This is probably someone's ultimate type, or some boss's ultimate type deal.
Well, you think I would like to be transported into some other realm. I mean, what if this is like, as you beat him, he warps you into some other area, and then that's how you get to the tactics portion.
Okay,
might be cool, right? All right, that's kind of cool. So, then we get glasses and
see, now this is how I think definitely know that this area is part of the new Eureka, is because that NPC is specifically we haven't seen her or him anywhere.
It's him.
Him, yeah. Anywhere else besides with the Eureka stuff.
But then you see an Ascian also.
I don't know is that an Ascian for sure? I don't know.
I guess not. My first instinct was an Ascian.
Plus, who's to say that Ascians can't be tied into Eureka in some way?
I mean,
I'm trying to remember what we saw in that level 17 quest in Eureka. Wasn't there something to? There was some kind of.
Taro was saying not an Ascian.
Yeah, I don't think it's an Ascian. I mean, I think it's just a guy in a hooded cloak.
Galuf.
I mean, could it be some of the students of Baldesion left behind?
Argent Esper says Kingdom Hearts 3 tie-in confirmed.
Oh, fuck off.
This organization.
Go away. But yeah,
I'm trying to remember all the things that they dropped on us in the level 17 quest. Like, that there were people that like Galuf and his team that were there and they were killed by. I feel like there was a person in a black robe in those quests.
Okay, but that was in
I don't remember that.
Eureka. Why would
this is Eureka? This
is Eureka. This is the next Eureka thing.
Right, but what I'm saying is, like someone said, people think that it's Galuf. Sorry. No, you're right. Yeah, never mind.
That was one of the students of Baldesion, right?
Yep.
Am I wrong? Okay.
No, yeah. For some reason, I was thinking he was in tactics. Never mind.
So
Galuf is from FF5.
Yes.
So I just need to point something out here, right? What is this fucking Rogadin wearing? That looks like an optical hat. That's a fucking optical hat!
Oh, no!
Bro, that's an optical hat! That is definitely an optical hat.
Oh, snap.
Shit.
Optical hat is back. Optical hat
all the other FF11 shit they've dropped on us, of course.
Wait, so you're actually gonna show people your face?
He's wearing a scorpion harness, the Strider's boots, and an optical hat.
Yeah.
Right. So
he's got all of them on.
Yes. So my question to a Nero is, after what? How long have we been doing the 14 show
Odin
now?
Helm? I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see.
I think what you need to do is get someone to mod you the O hat with the Odin helm still on it, so that way when they watch our stream, you still have
the ninja on the right side is wearing it too.
I'd love to be able to glitch it somehow so that I have both of them on at the same time.
Yeah.
Right? Like just the horns are
coming out of it.
Right, they're clipping through the top of the hat. That would be awesome. Yeah, no, that's definitely an optical hat, bro.
I think it is. Yeah.
You can see it on if you your screen's paused a little bit too quick or late, I think, but the ninja on the right side is also wearing it.
Oh, is he?
It definitely looks like an O hat, yeah.
Let's go back here.
The O hat is here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's definitely an O hat.
That's definitely an O hat. Oh.
Optical hat confirmed.
I'm kind of happy about that.
I see that.
I'm surprised I haven't seen anyone else talking about this.
I'm so happy about this. How is not? Yeah, I agree.
He's smiling,
maybe we're the first ones to realize this.
How is no one else totally stoked on this?
Maybe they're like Lloyd and says they're literally just stealing the assets from that game.
Kind of, yeah.
I really want my Aces helm, man.
Was the Aces helm ever considered iconic though?
Yeah, it is for anyone who did endgame stuff.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll
Everyone
see
had an
riddle.
Aces
A riddle before an Aces
was that a Nika branded humble brag?
I don't think there's anything humble about that.
Nika humble brag, TM.
Just saying.
Just saying. Yeah, that's a humble.
She's Nika explaining us.
All right, so I'm officially excited for the next run of Eureka. Definitely.
What about for the little snowbirds? They're cute.
Stop it. So I don't know. This looks like more fucking
story dungeon
Doma stuff. Yeah, maybe.
Well, it looks like the next dungeon. So
yeah.
And then it shows
Swallow's compass.
Goes back to Eureka. It's hard to tell what's Eureka and what's dungeon.
Yeah.
But then that last clip there looks like Kugane Tower hard mode or something.
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, here we see more from Eureka, so
yeah, it's jumping back and forth between the dungeon and Eureka for sure, and then story with Alpha Node.
Yeah, I don't know what this big room is here, right here. Like this is actually kind of cool looking.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't know what that is. I'm gonna guess with the number of players on screen that's from the dungeon.
Yeah, I mean we have.
Yeah.
Isn't that what it looks like in Kugane? Is it Kugane Tower? Or,
it could be Heaven on High. It could be Heaven on High. Taro has got a good point.
Oh yeah, that could be.
Yeah. Yeah,
that could be a boss room.
It seems to be implying that it
especially because they did show the tower at the beginning of this. They scrolled up it. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's glowing weapons. That's probably weapons from the deep dungeon.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, very good point. All right, so we see Xeno slow walking at us. I can't care.
No, not even a little bit.
I'm so not even. I don't even want to know.
In fact, no. Hold on.
I can't think of the last time that I was like bummed out to do MSQ.
Well, no, I'm actually thinking because there's been a couple scenes here where it shows like this reddish, pinkish, smokish sky around us, and this part is also part of that.
Hold on. Here's a bigger question. I actually don't care how they brought him back, right? The fact that he offed himself and the fact that he always had sort of like this, always seeking out like, the strongest thing to fight, proving that he's the most powerful. And when you defeated him, he's basically, all right, accept death and stuff, killed himself. So if someone did bring him back, what the fuck is his motivation now?
Yeah, he wouldn't have one because his purpose is over.
Yeah.
So that's why I still think that has something to do with it.
I mean,
does he seem like a revenge kind of guy, though?
A little bit. A little bit.
No, I don't know. I feel like we're still wondering who, when we saw at the end of the first credit scene from the original expansion, that then, when Ascian removed their hood and it was, you. We still don't know who that is.
That's true. We don't know who that is. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm like not even like motivated to figure it out either. I'm just like, I don't care.
All right, whatever Taro just said is really dumb, and I hope that's not what it is. He says people are theorizing this is kind of an ad phase of the new Primal, where somehow we're inside Yotsu's mind and we have to help our good side beat his bad side.
Oh Jesus, God, no. Please.
But I mean, you realize that the atmosphere is like red and swishy, and if you go back a couple scenes before Xenos is walking, you like slice down these other people holding samurai swords who are standing there, like, I don't know, like soldiers, or like you're definitely like going through some kind of sequence, because like Yotsu's holding her head and you slice down
okay
people.
but remember they've said that
like that looks like her parents or somebody, like there's like two old people.
But remember, again, they do this to try and
I have it paused on a scene where this like old woman's like, but like right there, that lady.
Yeah.
Just because these scenes are put in this order doesn't mean they have anything to do with each other whatsoever.
No, right, but isn't that the Warrior of Light in the samurai outfit right there?
It does look like it.
And you're fighting people that look like Yotsu's memories.
Except they've used those NPCs elsewhere before.
Why would we be fighting them?
Who the fuck knows? But that doesn't mean that has anything to do with the fact that they put Yasuyu dropping a fucking tomato before it.
But then it shows him talking to Yotsuyu right
No, but I mean, like, just like
then you fight some more people.
Yeah, like more people with samurai. There's a lot of samurai swords going on here. But no, like, just like you had mentioned, Kahlo, that there's all this like kind of red aura around us. That may be a clue that, I mean, I think it's a bad plot point, but that we're going inside the mind of Yotsuyu. I mean, it's not a terrible theory. I could see why people
we're in the Yatsuyu gem.
would kind of come to that conclusion. But I mean, she does seem to be falling down and holding her head a lot.
But there are definitely other players in this scene right here.
Look, maybe she's just not in the mood today, guys. Okay, she has the right to choose.
Okay,
but it's definitely a battle because look, there's at least 2 other players on screen.
Yes, I'm not saying that it's not a battle.
No. So what I'm saying, it's not necessarily a solo trial from the story like I was originally thinking it would be. But
yeah, I don't
dream drop sequence. Yatsuyu.
I don't know, man. I mean, those could very well be NPCs too, Nika. You never really know. I don't know.
It's just weird why we would be fighting them.
Yeah. And then
we fight what looks like soldiers with samurai swords, and then Xenos comes out.
It looks like we're fighting the brother with a samurai sword as well. Right? Like that's him.
Yeah, no, that's
in this shot right here, that's him with the sword, right?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So that could also be her memory of him.
Could be. I don't know.
It's a cool looking gun.
Yeah. And then here we get once his nuts facing off against Xenos.
Yosetsu?
Yeah,
for whatever reason.
Yeah. I mean, he says you're gonna be my, what is it? My vessel or something. Like he's I think that he's
probably got some weird fucked up feelings for Yotsuyu and he's trying to defend her now.
I think that's kind of, I don't know. Like, I think he wants to create a mole in our faction. That's what I think. He's going to take over someone.
Yotsuyu is already that.
I mean, it seems to imply right here that it's Gosetsu, but I mean, right after that scene, it's also back on the brother, and then it's
just random everything.
It's just sizzle trailer for the rest of that. So it could be, I don't know. It could be a couple of different people. Lots of reskinned enemies that we've kind of already seen, though, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it does say chosen agent is what it says.
Chosen agent, yeah.
The hand which tolls the warning bell, it says after that.
I don't know, man.
Like you said, though, the story throughout Stormblood has just been so lackluster.
Yeah,
I don't even care to find out. Like, it's not like I'm chomping at the bit to be like, oh, I can't wait to see what's actually going on.
It's like I care, but you're right. I'm not as hyped as I have been for previous stories.
And then I like how the post sequence is the fucking ultimate. Yeah,
it's called the ultimate refrain. Or the weapons refrain.
Still, though, I mean, like, why would that be your sort of like post-credit sequence? Everyone kind of knows. Like, what did they show off? They showed off graphics that we've been seeing since 2.0. Great. Yeah. Okay, cool. Oh, Ultima's there, and all the 3 primals are there. Cool. That's what I expected. Yay. What did that sequence show us of value?
Nothing new.
Nothing. Not a damn thing. So, I mean, if I'm a little bit underwhelmed, the thing I'm most excited about is the O-Hat. Hands down.
Well, Taro says
no
lackluster
hesitation.
Story. Okay, whatever.
I mean, call us up and fucking argue with us.
What's so special about this? What has it done that we haven't?
It had potential and it falls off.
Limit Break Radio on Skype 810-515-8715 limitbreakradio.com/discord to give us a call. I mean, if you think that we're wrong, like explain to me why this is a well told and impactful story.
Yeah, what about it excites you? What gets your heart racing? What about it do you think is like good writing? I mean, look, I can 100% argue back and forth with you on what I like, don't like about it, what they could have done or shouldn't have done on really any types of stuff. What I can't stand is and you especially get this, Nika, maybe you've well, no, because I think you like it too, so maybe you wouldn't be able to, but people try to argue with me on like how the CW Arrowverse shows are so good, and you want to know what their reasons are? Oh, I just like it. How am I supposed to take that at value? Oh, because I like it. Okay, great. You're allowed to like what you like, but can't you come up with some reasons? What's so great about it?
I like them.
Yeah, exactly. Why do you like them, Nika?
There's something about the characters that is really relatable.
Okay, see, that's fair.
And I could probably like come up with a bunch of actual answers for you, but not right on the spot. But I could.
The fact that Xenos, who wants to be the most powerful, was defeated and was like, all right, you defeated me, cool, slits his own throat, and now he's back. Why is he back? What motivation?
I don't think he is back.
Could he possibly? Okay, you don't think it's actually him then?
I don't.
But the fact that he has the bandage on his neck would indicate that he's not just like back in some magical way.
But if an Ascian is possessing his body, but an Ascian could still be possessing his body. We don't know how Ascians take over people.
Okay, maybe it'd be nice for them to loop the Ascian story back around. When was the last time that they got any sort of screen time?
It's been a while.
Was it the?
It's been a while. Sorry,
it was the one where
every time I hear that,
where we see the Ascian who takes his mask off. That was that at the end of Stormblood, end of 4.0 storyline? Where was it exactly?
Yeah, I think it was. It was at the conclusion of the Shinryu arc. So yeah, I think that was the after credit sequence of 4.0. So dude, I feel like Square Enix's ability to tell a cogent story through their patches is severely diminished.
Well, and one of the reasons why is I don't think that they quite have a grasp on how to do that in a patch by patch format. Back in Heaven's Ward, the way that they tried to do it was, all right, let's focus on this story with Nidhogg. Next patch, let's focus on this story with the Warriors of Darkness. Next patch, let's focus on this story with some of the Warriors of Light. And by the time you get back to the Nidhogg story, it's been so long, it feels very detached. But I don't want to say to their credit, but maybe in their defense, back in A Realm Reborn, one of the things that we complained about was that in a single patch, there'd be so much going on, and it's like, wow, how are we divided between all these different things, So I don't necessarily really know what they should be doing different or to help that, but I also know I'm not being paid to figure that out. So
here's my problem is that I feel like there's not a clear intention with the story, right? Like that they've kind of set up all of these different moving pieces, but that there's not a point to any of it, right? Like, oh, there's going to be a big bad that we're going to have to defeat, but it doesn't really mean anything, right? Like it's not representative of anything. There's no there's very little depth in Square Enix's storytelling, and I'm not just trying to single out FF14. I think that this is true of FF15 as well. Just the modern era of Square Enix, I think, really just I don't know why, but they struggle to tell a really cogent story.
One of the things that I learned just through writing growing up is that one of the ways to figure out, to sort of get down what you're trying to say or the story you're trying to tell in a concise way is as sort of a little practice routine is you should try and write your story as briefly as you can and cut out like big sweeping parts of it. And the more concise you can tell it, the more you have an idea of exactly what it is you're trying to tell, right? Just as a way to like sort of get your thoughts in order. I can do that with Heaven's Ward. I can do that with A Realm Reborn. But if I tried to do that,
I don't know. I think
Stormblood,
dude. I think it started with Heaven's Ward.
No, definitely. That's where it started, right? I mean, overall, it's about Nidhogg and the Dragonsong Ward, and then near the end, it starts to get kind of weird and funky. But with Stormblood, if you were to try and like bottom line what Stormblood is about to someone in like 10 seconds, could you?
Yeah, probably not.
No.
No,
okay,
I would just
try
say
it.
it's
Go ahead,
the Warrior of Light liberates Doma and Alamigo, and then you completely ignore Alamigo for all the bullshit happening in Doma. Done.
Wow.
Thank you for that very much insider explanation. I mean, that's fair, but
also doesn't paint the story in a very good light.
Yeah, what is
Doma? No, it doesn't. I didn't tell you I was going to paint it in a good light.
Doma? Like if I'm a layman, if I don't know anything about this world, like, what does that mean? What's an Alamigo?
Oh, Taro wants us to stop comparing it with Heaven's Ward.
Well, the thing is, I'm still kind of at a loss for words the fact that at the end of Heaven's Word they drop on us that there's like a million worlds and they're all being sucked into light and darkness and we're this source world that's got to figure shit out, and then we're completely ignoring all of that.
I'm sorry,
our little squabbles that are happening in here.
They didn't even finish off. They didn't even finish paying off all of the story of all of the children of God damn it, the big dude that's in Mordona, the big dragon that's in Mordona. I can't think of his name right now.
Midgar Somer.
Midgar Somer, right. Like, they didn't even pay off all of his children's stories throughout Heaven's Word, which is what I thought a big component of that expansion was going to be.
That's true. We had one whole episode where we outlined which guys we've seen already and which ones we haven't seen. You're right. That's been dropped.
Yeah, they totally dropped that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like
that's not as bad of a thing as, like, what about the Syndicate and the Sultana? Like, he basically at one point
I feel like they roped that back in, though. You're in
our pocket. Like when I need something, it's going to happen.
But they roped that back in with Stormblood, so they could end up addressing that.
They could.
Right? But I'm just saying, like, Square Enix has let so many interesting plot points fall for far less interesting and less compelling plot points, and plot points whose punches and impact that they pull, like not killing the Sultana, you know, that it's hard for me to really, you know, look at it objectively as a good storyline. I think that it's a very ham-fisted storyline, and my frustration with it has peaked in Stormblood, right? Like, I was very put out with the Warriors of Darkness storyline, the way that never paid off, how many interesting lore tidbits were not paid off in Heaven's Word, that when we got to Stormblood, it was like, oh, well, great, we get 2 regions to not know anything meaningful about.
That's fucking cool. Between.
Yeah, like, and that's exactly what we got. We got a disjointed storyline between 2 sections of Eorzea that ostensibly have very little to do with each other than the fact that they're going up against the Garlean Empire. Well, guess what? The entire realm of Eorzea was going up against the Garlean Empire. Nothing has changed. So what is the new compelling plot point that I'm supposed to be hooked into in Stormblood?
Even judging based on this whole Into the Moonlight trailer, like first of all, one of our biggest complaints was that the liberation of Ala Mhigo and Doma happened just right off the bat within the first, you know, big major story thing. So it's like, all right, we're all cool now. Now that could have been rife for a lot of then political intrigue and, like, you know, power struggles and stuff like that. But it seems like all we're doing now is just focusing on some of these new characters, like Into the Moonlight. All right, something's happened with Yetsuyu. Why do we care about Yetsuyu? She was the one, I thought, villain with the most potential out of Stormblood.
Right.
And as Nika says, if they're giving her a redemption arc, I don't want to see that. Capitalize on the fact that people hated her and she was fucking ruthless.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, let her be ruthless. Like, some of us, like, I actually felt for Fordola when she, like, hesitated before she blew up her people. Like, she always had that, like, I really am not sure what I'm doing, but I'm going to go for it anyway.
Well, because she thought that even though I think she knew what she was doing was probably bad, but it was for a greater good. Yetsuyu was just out for herself.
Exactly. And that's why I'm okay with the redemption arc for Fordola, but not for Yetsuyu. I don't want to see that.
Maybe you'll get both.
Forgiveness. Don't want both.
Let's be fair. This is Final Fantasy XIV. You'll likely get both.
Forgiveness is key. We must forgive all.
Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715. We want to hear from you. LimitBreakRadio.com/Discord if you want to call in on Discord. Make our new intern in training do a little bit of goddamn work. Yeah. I see you got plenty of opinions there in the chat, but at least grow a pair. At least grow a pair and give us a call. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, LimitBreakRadio.com/Discord.
Let's put a little bit on the line here. We need you guys to call in so that Kooky can train our new intern, and if he's up to snuff, we'll even fire Skuro and replace him with Lloyd.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Maybe, exactly. But if you don't call in, we have nothing to base that on, right? So call in, potentially get Skuro fired.
That's right.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Come on, fulfill your end of the bargain. Anyway, but yeah, no, I have not been so unhyped by a trailer in a long time. Right?
Well, since the last one, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess so. Yeah. But I mean, like, we didn't even get, did we get a preview of the next raid tier? Because we're supposed to get that too, right?
No, we're getting the new Evil Ace.
Yeah, because we're getting the Evil Ace.
Oh, that's right. We're getting Evil Ace. That's right. I'm sorry.
And we're getting Ultimate Ultima.
Let me add on to what to your reaction to the trailer, because you're right. I haven't been so unhyped for a trailer since probably the last one. But when you look at what's in this trailer, the fact that the big bad is coming back, that's something that should hype us up, right? Think about any other show or game or anything, and if they were about to come out with a sequel or something, and somehow the big bad was back, that's something that you'd be like, what the fuck? We don't give a shit.
I mean, if Gaius came back at this point, I think I would be more shocked and surprised.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely. I saw, and I didn't look too much into it, but I had saw that there was apparently a theory that one of the lines somewhere in that trailer was Gaius.
What?
I'm sorry, what?
Someone somewhere, I forget exactly where it was or where I saw this, but yeah, someone was theorizing that one of the lines in that trailer was Gaius.
First of all, with the way that FF14 changes voice actors, no, I'm sorry.
That's fair.
Even if it sounded like Gaius, I'm sure that whoever it's probably a different character that just sounds like Gaius.
Do you think that they might have reused some voice lines for the ultimate refrain or the weapons refrain or whatever?
It could be.
Because, I mean, he obviously would play
that could be. That very well could be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you want to take a look at some of these job adjustments that's coming?
Yeah, because we did get a live letter, too.
We did. We did. Now, Nika, I think that we'll have to probably rely on you, and I say this with much reluctance, expertise, because the type of content that it's a compliment. The type of content that we do, these buffs or nerfs or whatever, doesn't really affect anything. I mean, when you have a DPS of 1951 and you can still clear shit, who the fuck cares?
Yeah, pretty much.
So Dark Knight Plunge is going to be getting buffed.
Sweet.
Shortened animation for it.
Nice.
That's the one where you the gap closer, right?
Yeah, it's a gap closer.
No,
yep.
Cool. Monk aligned more with Sam. Some enmity. There's some hate adjustments.
What does that have to do with aligning it with Sam, though? Because like even still as Sam, I rip hate all the time, and you have to rely on diversion, and both melees get diversion.
Something to keep in mind as we go through this is there isn't a whole lot of really good translations when Kuki was making this outline. I think she actually had to pull from like a French translation, right? So we don't have a whole lot to go off of this, but all it says is that Monk to be more aligned with Sam. Maybe it's just that they're trying to align it more with Sam, and also they're making some hate adjustments. Yeah, does Sam outperform Monk in a big way as of now?
Not anymore. It used to. But right now, Monk can pull higher numbers than Sam. Sam has been struggling.
Yeah, see, this Nin one is really weird. Using some different skills in the deep dungeon. As it.
What?
Okay, you weren't kidding when you said roughly translated.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Sam, 5 actions for Samurai will be buffed. Also, enmity suppression.
Okay, so it looks like both Monk and Sam are getting a role-specific way to suppress enmity because they are ripping hate off of the tanks.
Okay, all right.
But the thing is that you do get a cross-class role action called diversion, which lowers enmity.
I mean, that's not a terrible thing, you know.
But 5 actions for Sam, I want to know which ones. That's exciting.
Yeah, being buffed. Isn't Sam a pretty good DPS output already?
Well, it used to be.
Oh, really?
It's still good on its own, but because it doesn't have a lot of cross buffs and things like that, it's still like when Cern and I would go head to head, and he'd have lesser gear than me and still out DPS me by a few hundred points or whatever. So it really sucks that I could be more overgeared and still not pull as much damage. So Sam has been struggling recently.
Okay.
Since the last patch
for Black Mage, teleports buffed, animation speed increased for between the lines, and ethereal manipulation. Adjustment is more on people can use manipulation more instead of slide cast.
Okay.
I haven't played Black Mage in 2 expansions.
I'm trying to think of because I mean Ethereum manipulations when you zoom to a party member, and the only times I've ever used it is when like Leviathan tips the thing, you can zoom to someone. And,
right. So maybe they're just trying to increase Black Mage mobility or something like that.
Yeah.
Scholar changed in the usability of certain skills.
Okay.
Okay. Very.
That's vague.
That's super vague. Yeah. Astrologian. Damage cast speed increased. Light speed MP reduction effect doubled. And aspected Helios buffed. Ooh, that looks like a lot of good stuff for Astrologian then.
Yeah. That sounds very good.
And then, of course, they gave a preview of the new Beast Tribe quest, the Namazu, which is those like little amphibian...
The catfish
people.
The ones I fucking hate the most.
Oh,
the Studio Ghibli ones.
Yep. There's going to be a new Aetherite in the Azim Steppes. These, as we knew, would be the crafted quest for Disciples of the Hand in the land. Apparently,
there's going to be a new Aetherite in the Azim Steppe?
Yeah.
That's kind of
okay.
They don't usually do that.
That's different.
And apparently, the story for this is that the Namazu want to make an Oriental-themed festival.
I fucking hate everything.
Remember, we were like, maybe they'll help build Doma back up again. Nope.
No, they just want to make a stupid lantern festival. Have fun with your paper dragons or whatever it is that you're going to do. I don't know.
Nero.
What's the mount?
How much would people have to donate for you to actually do this?
Oh, I'm not doing it. There's no way. There's no way. What are you fucking joking?
The mount is like a king carrier thing.
You better bring up the mount here. This is ridiculous.
I'm an emperor being carried. You can't even see the people inside of it. What?
This is fucking ridiculous.
Hang on, I gotta find it now.
And it can fly.
Really?
That's the second clip. Of course it's going to fly.
Wait until you see it before you really...
I'm bringing it up.
Because it's fucking ridiculous.
God damn.
Now, when Juxta saw this...
Hang on.
Oh, I feel bad for the Namazu.
Juxta said that this would be his shit if he still played.
What the fuck?
Right?
What the fuck
Are you looking at the flying one, though? It's like, you know how like an emperor comes into town and they carry you on
I know
things,
what
right?
I know.
How do you think this flies, though, Nero?
No, click on the flying one.
I don't.
I feel so bad for all of this Namazu. Oh my god.
Shut up. They're pieces of data.
Oh, this is terrible.
No, just watch it fly.
I'm watching it walk around and I'm just like creep the fuck out.
Oh, it gets better. It gets better.
Oh boy, I can't wait. All right, we'll bring up the other one here.
Oh, this is the dumbest mount they've ever created.
It's awesome.
Fuck you, Nika. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Oh god.
Wait till it zooms in.
They're just like hanging off of it.
Poor guys.
This is so stupid.
It's like they're not even trying to make things fly anymore. You know, now they're just fucking it goes into the air. Big deal.
Oh, I fucking hate it.
I feel so bad for them hanging there.
Yep. So there's that. That's all there is to look forward to the Namazu quests. Then basically that, and you get to make a fucking festival.
Ugh.
Woo! I'm glad that Square Enix is living up to their standards of storytelling, right? Taro, fucking festivals. In the housing market, we have a bunch of new items, including a picnic basket, stove, bucket and broom, Moogle and Namazu bento box, Gold Saucer Festival award. It looks like the basketball mini game. Housing item. There's a clip. I don't want to fucking watch that. The guest book. This is actually what I'm actually really excited for because I want to make like if people use it, little new segments where we read from the guest book on the show.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So you can get one for indoors and one for outdoors. You can like messages, leave them yourself as well. You can only leave one message per day, and you are able to moderate messages to be public or not. So they've given us Eorzea's version of Facebook.
Great.
Yeah, but look forward to it, guys. This might be one of the only things that Limit Break Radio actually does in the new patch.
Let's go to our phone lines and talk to Nikona. What's going on, Nikona?
All right, dudes. How's it going?
Good. Thanks for calling Limit Break Radio. What's going on?
Problem, man. I'm just phoning in to help the Get Scurry Off Limit Break Radio Fund.
Good. Yeah. This is very, very good. I mean, the fact that we're hearing your voice and everything, that is so far a strike against Skuro and a strike for Lloyd. So
I dug around for a topic just so I could ring in, mate.
All right. So what do you want to talk about?
No, I was just arguing with Taro in the chat, but
that seems useless.
Yeah, at 3:25 in the trailer, you can see Gaius.
At 3:25. All right, I've actually still got the trailer up. Okay, so we'll bring the trailer back up on screen.
If it's in the weapons refrain, it makes sense. Did they?
Yeah, I assume it's going to be part of the.
Yeah. Now, did they?
This is what everyone is claiming is Gaius.
Okay. Now,
could be
Nika.
He says, "Oh yeah, what?"
With the Bahamut Ultimate, like, is that just like is that canon in some way, or is it just exists like the Bard's story type things? Which is like,
I don't believe it's canon, but I am not 100% sure.
All right. Well, I'm sure Taro in the chat will let us know if it's actually considered some type of canon thing or not. But if these are just little bonus exists within a bubble type thing, then who the fuck gives a shit who is or isn't actually in them if it doesn't have any relevance within the world itself?
Well, Taro seems convinced that this is Balthier, which I don't know why they would attach Balthier to Ultimate, but okay, all right.
It's his voice actor, I think.
I mean, maybe. Yeah, I can see that.
He says, "Oh dear," and it's a person with a gun putting it behind his back.
Could be any number of people.
Yeah.
I mean,
this whole post-credits has got to do with Ultima, though.
Yeah.
Why would they put Balthier in the post-credits scene to do with Ultima? And if you look at his body piece that he's got on there, I didn't notice it until I subjected myself to main storyline quest roulette today. It was horrific. I was bored. I was that bored.
I'm sorry.
But I got Praetorium, and Gaius has exactly the same body piece on in Praetorium, but you can't see most of it because of his helmet, because it covers his shoulders and it covers the front of his chest. If you stood behind him, you can see it's the same body piece, same arm pieces, and he's got the same hilt on his gunblade.
Interesting. All right. Well, I mean, it very well could be. It would make a lot of sense that Gaius would, be back in some shape or form.
Yep.
Be interesting, though, to see him without his helmet.
Yeah. Daj also says that Ultimate is the Bard's Tale, so just a retelling.
Yeah. So, take that with a grain of salt. Probably not going to end up being canon. So Gaius is not actually back, but he's kind of, for the purposes of this story, he's back.
That was it. That's all I wanted to ring in for.
All right. Hey, thanks for giving us a call. Take care. Thanks again for the call, Niconia. If you want to give Limit Break Radio a call, Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. Help contribute to Skuro getting fired. I don't know. I don't know if that's Gaius or not. It very well could be. It definitely, there's enough circumstantial evidence to say that it's Gaius.
That's fair. Yeah. So
it could also be that we're getting a Gaius glamour, and that's what drops through this.
That
could be.
But how upset would the endgame Ultimate people be if all they got were glamours?
Oh, come on. Of Gaius Van Belsar? I think that's something that I would want to do.
You don't think that they would need there to be stats on there?
Dude, that's a glamour so badass that it would make me kind of look at it and go, that might be worth it.
But you have the O-Hat already, so.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly.
Speaking of the weapons refrain, which is the second ultimate challenge, yes. So you start with Garuda, and apparently if you touch the wall, it equals instant death. Titan and Ifrit will also appear. They said this is shorter than Ultimate Coil, but that does not mean it will be easier.
Interesting. Okay. What'd you do to piss off that bird behind you, by the way?
I don't know.
It's just really angry.
Kick the thing?
It's like chirping at you like crazy.
Well,
whatever.
All right. And then Heaven on High. Now, we don't get to see a whole lot of this in the trailer, but we do have a preview clip here. Now, we're not getting... something else to mention, too. We're not getting the weapons refrain until patch 4.31, and Heaven on High, which is the new deep dungeon, we're not getting until 4.35. So you can enter at level 31 and above with 1 to 4 players. There are 100 levels. And in regards to the new weapons, you can enhance gear, and you can also exchange 10 points of strength for a unique token, and you exchange a given number of tokens for a new weapon. Now, apparently, the old Palace of the Dead, the other Deep Dungeon Palace of the Dead, is also going to be updated to utilize this same system.
Interesting. So, have they gotten rid of the Pomanders completely?
No, they are still using Pomanders. There are some changes to Pomanders, though. It says that the Pomanders that transform you into enemy NPCs, those are being removed, and they're adding 3 new ones. Pomander of Incapacity, which applies enervation to all enemies on the current floor. Pomander of Concealment, where players will be invisible to all enemies and traps. And Pomander of Petrification, that will apply petrification to all enemies on the current floor.
No, but the freaking the Manticore one was so cool.
Yeah, I mean they were fun, but we'll see how these new ones end up working out. We also before they had mentioned like primal summonings within Deep Dungeon, and it says that you can use certain magicite, which will be obtained through silver coffers up to 3, to call upon primals and use their powers.
Okay,
so that I guess could be fun.
I mean, I guess it depends. I'd have to see the mechanic.
Yeah, see it actually work in action.
Yeah.
It also mentions allied NPCs. There will be minions to help you out. The Komenu increases damage dealt by nearby players. The Inugami, which is apparently a puppy, decreases damage received by nearby players, and there's a fat cat that restores the HP of players over time.
All right, that's kitschy enough to make sense, I guess.
Cute. I guess what I'm most interested in is at least on here, and again, this could just be the way coming from the French translations, is that you get to enhance gear, not just weapons, but gear. Because remember, we said if it's literally just weapons again.
Yeah. No, I do think that that's a step in the right direction. Although I have to wonder, I have to wonder what what purpose they're going to end up serving, right? Like where in the whole of the eye level,
especially because considering we're getting this in patch 4.35, then we're getting the next Eureka in 4.36, and so if the weapon literally less than half a patch later is going to outclass the Deep Dungeon weapon,
right? Yeah, I definitely have to wonder where this is going to end up going in the in the eye level spectrum.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Yep, that's all we got on Heaven on High, though. And then there's some clips here pertaining to the Readerana Lighthouse, which is the new return to Ivalice.
Right.
The first boss in here is going to be Famfrit, and can see Moogle and NPC with you apparently in there. So again, I don't recall the lighthouse from the actual game itself.
No.
And, the way
is it from Tactics or 12?
No, it's from 12.
It's from 12. Yeah.
I think it's. I mean, I remember going there, and I think that's about where I end up stopping the game. But also taking into consideration where the storyline sort of left off with the Rabanasti storyline. Wasn't it that Alma got kidnapped or something like that, and so we're going to chase her down?
Right. Well, I think it's a little bit, definitely the environment design is really great. I think it's a little disingenuous for them to just kind of stand there at the base of it and look up and be like, look at how much there is. No
preview.
Yeah, come on, that's kind of bullshit, right?
I agree.
Yeah,
I'd rather wait and experience it though. I don't want to be spoiled for it.
I mean, you don't
just
have to
because of how good these environmental designers are. Like with Rabanaster, I just feel like there was so much. Even though there was a few things they could have done better, I still feel like going through the waterways and looking around all the environments was just such a surreal experience the first time I did it.
No,
there's a difference between previewing something and spoiling it. To me, a good preview would tease you without spoiling anything.
But I mean, I just feel like if someone was maybe not familiar with the way that the game, the content gets added to this game, they'd see this and be like, oh my god, there's going to be so many floors and so much exploration that I get to do.
Oh, super let down.
You know what I mean? Come on, that sort of sucks. But again, I mean, if they're showing off the environment, fine, whatever. The environment's very good. We already knew that.
We're also getting some additional updates to the performance feature.
Oh, whatever. Actually, there's a second video video of the lighthouse here as well, and it looks like it's the first boss platform. And it's all, I mean, of course, it's kind of, you know, run down and a bit destroyed like you know, Rabanasty was. So I mean, it'll definitely be interesting. Again, the environment design's always very good on these raids, but I'm gonna be interesting to see the way that they end up tying in tactics to this one.
Yeah, because we were pretty happy with the way that they did in the first one. I mean, overall, especially when you compare it to the way that they did Omega.
Right.
They're introducing color filter settings to assist the colorblind warriors of light.
That's actually really cool.
I know it is, and it's something that I think they mentioned a while ago. So, all right.
Like if you click on it, everything's like red and green or yellow and green and purple. It's actually really neat.
Are we actually going to watch the perform feature?
No, I'm just trying
they just play one note.
I'm just trying to go through and have all of the clips loaded up.
All right.
We can check out the colorblind mode, because I know that this is going to be kind of a big deal for some
people,
players. Yeah. But that's actually you can kind of take a look at it there. I think that's a really great feature
to have. Yeah, I mean, out of all the features that they've been adding, yes, this is one that I can look at and be like, oh yeah, sure. I'm glad that you put this in here.
Yeah, absolutely.
They also announced the Fan Festival for Europe. It will take place on February 2nd and 3rd, 2019.
What about tickets? Do we know anything about tickets? God damn it, tickets!
Well, hold on, because this is going to be in Paris, France, and the NA one.
Why'd you say it like that?
Because France. The North American one at Las Vegas.
Gay.
Of course, we'll know it's going to be at the Rio from November 18th to 17th. 16th to 17th. No, actually, I don't think it mentions anything about when tickets are going to be available.
Boo.
Yeah, and then, of course, there's going to be the one in Japan in Tokyo, 4th through the 6th from March. Wait, where's there?
Hall 4 to 6. It's the Macari Mess Hall.
God damn it.
March 23rd to March 24th.
There you go, at the end of March, yes.
It's like you've never read this before.
No, well, not wrong. And then they mentioned the Eorzea Symphony stuff that's going to be going on, and that's Hollywood red carpet cosplay walk. I wish I could go. That sounds cool. Cosplayers can walk the red carpet in front of the Dolby Theater and the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Why don't you reach out to Square Enix? I mean, we're not invited. We should have been.
I mean, it was the 16th I could actually do, because the 15th is the last day of school, so I can't do the 15th. But it's on the 16th. I could do that.
Well, reach out.
If we moved our flights from E3, we might be able to stick around for it. But I doubt that we would be able to do that.
Stop us at the gate.
We'd need like a couple of nights stay somewhere. I don't know anyone out there. Hey, Kooky, can we come crash on your couch or something?
And
the worst.
Again, mentioning
Kooky said she's already sent SCPR and they
nice.
nothing.
Got nothing.
Yeah.
That's not a surprise at all.
Yeah. So again, we're gonna be getting all of this. This seems like a lot, right? We talked about how this patch coming up seems like we're gonna get a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But of course, in traditional SE fashion, we are going to get this in a slow drip content sort of way.
Oh boy.
Yep. The ultimate weapons refrain will be dropping in patch 4.31. Hildebrand, by the way, which they really didn't show anything of, is also going to be dropping with the Heaven on High Deep Dungeon.
What was the last injection of Hildebrand that they put in there?
Wasn't it just the weird preview thing? Or Nika, have you been keeping up on that?
There was another one.
Yeah, like I remember they put in another.
It was last patch sometime.
It wasn't good though.
I don't think
it was okay. No, it was. It was better than the last iteration of Hildebrand. I think.
That's not saying a lot.
The last one was campy mystery
thing. No, Hildebrand's been back. There's been two iterations of Hildebrand. The very, very first.
Oh, you mean the full iteration is what you're talking about? Okay, all right, I gotcha.
Yeah, there's been two Hildebrands now. So far. The first one was like a previewy one, and the second one, Hildebrand actually.
It's still a pale comparison to 2.0 Hildebrand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but we're getting that along with the Deep Dungeon in patch 4.35.
So what are we supposed to do between 4.3 and 4.35?
MSQ.
And Evilise, I guess.
The new dungeon.
Yeah. And the Oriental Namazu Festival.
Oh yeah, that's true. Beastman Quest. I always do those. Yeah. So.
And then in 4.36 is when we will be getting our Eureka Pagos.
Man.
Right.
Man, are you shitting me? 4.36?
How did
Square Enix? Damn it!
How did they manage to delay the second iteration of Eureka?
Especially because the first one came in 4.25, right? So 4.36, that's more than a patch later.
It is.
God damn it.
It is. So on May 22nd, when this patch drops, you can knock out the MSQ in your first day and start doing your Namazu Beast Tribe quests. And then you really just have to do, Evil East once a week?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Until Deep Dungeon, which you probably is only going to be used for character leveling, let's be honest. And so, just wait for 4.36.
Are we gonna get Deep Dungeon in 2 injections of it again?
Probably. They'll probably add another 100 floors onto it. Honestly,
they made it sound like there's 100 floors, and after 30 is supposed to be hard. So
really,
okay, right. Yeah. They did mention that this is supposed to be a lot harder.
They said after floor 30 is supposed to be 4-man challenging hard content. So if it really is, I will spend between 4.35 4.36 just doing that. If it's actually,
but Nika, what if that's it? Because if it's just weapons again, they're basically going to be saying, all right, do this super challenging hard content, but just for the content itself. Like, if there is no type of reward for you,
I don't think it would be weapons anyway, because Eureka is weapons.
No, stop. If there's no type of reward in there for you whatsoever, are you still going to spend weeks doing it?
Well, wait a minute. Whatever rewards we get out of Heaven on High have got to be one step below Eureka Pagos, because it comes out later. They're not going to put Eureka Pagos out and have that be lower than Heaven on High.
Well, hold on. Not what the final product is, because that would help to make Heavens on High a little bit more relevant. If it, although people, were able to do
the fucking Eureka gear doesn't even get to your tone level gear.
Right, but when they said floor 30 and beyond is going to be hard, challenging 4-man content, I'm thinking raid level 4-man content.
I would think so too, but the rewards would seem to think, and especially the timing of the patch would seem to say that the rewards are probably not even going to be as high as the tome rewards.
Well, if you remember when they came out with Palace of the Dead, that weapon was invalidated 2 weeks later when you were allowed to upgrade your tome weapon.
Exactly. And this is pretty much, I mean, it's not the tome weapon, but it's basically the relic weapon stand-in. I mean, does Eureka Pagos coming out in 4.36 instantly nullify any rewards from Heaven on High? Because I have a sneaking suspicion that it might.
It will, however, if you haven't been keeping up on Eureka, or depending on how long it takes to fully upgrade in Pagos, it may still be worth it to have gotten your Heaven on High weapon. But it still sees like it's same old Square Enix.
Why though? Objectively, unless the next Eureka gear ends up being significantly worse, not 5 eye levels behind, but 10 eye levels behind. You know what I mean? How do they do this? How do they balance that? How do they balance another set of gear? Maybe it's equivalent to Eureka with different stat allocations? I don't know. But knowing that both weapons and gear are going to be coming out of Heaven on High makes me really curious.
I'm actually not 100% sure it'll be gear. You
upgrade
you
gear.
Enhance gear, but that could also just be a translation type thing. I honestly have a really bad feeling that this will be Palace of the Dead for this expansion and operate in all the exact same ways it did.
That would make sense.
It's supposed to be different, though.
Well, it's supposed to be harder, and yes, palette swaps. But what I mean by that is the only thing that Palace of the Dead really stood for last expansion was a fast track to level cap.
And, I think that it's kind of shitty that they're going and changing the original Palace of the Dead. Why can't you have 2 different game type modes?
Well, I think it's just the way that you get your weapon. Yes, because remember in the old one, when you turned in to get the new one, it basically reset you back down to have to level up again.
Okay,
which
that makes sense.
Honestly, I didn't mind, because again, you have to put a little bit more work into it. Now, this is kind of basically saying all right, once you get that weapon, you ain't got to worry about being gimped again.
Right. Okay. All right. That's a better explanation. Limit Break Radio on Skype. 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. Let's go back to our phone line and talk to Nutella Waffles. What's going on, Nutella?
It's going good. How about y'all?
Thanks for calling Limit Break Radio. What's going on?
Well, I was going to call in especially because I heard they were making some changes to Dark Knight, and that's good because that used to be my main. And they're buffing up the potencies, and I think this is good. It's going to address a lot of the current balance issues that I've noticed between the tanks. So I think this is Square Enix moving in the right direction for once.
I definitely agree. I mean, dude, I don't know. For some reason, there was one guy on one of these FF14 Facebook groups that was just going heavy on the Dark Knight memes one day. And
I remember that. I do.
It wasn't like, have you ever seen somebody try to troll and they just get nothing? Like, no one
trying way too hard.
Yeah. And like everyone's just like, dude, what the fuck was that about? Like, you know what I mean? Like no one gives it the air to enough to be like funny or hit the nail on the head. That's all this was. But it was like 7 to 25 posts of that shit.
Wow.
And people were just like, why do you keep posting this? Like they weren't even like
triggered or anything.
Yeah, they weren't even incensed in any way. They're like, what? I don't why do you keep doing it? Yeah, like
more concerned than anything else.
Do we need to call your mom? Is everything all right? But yeah, so I mean, I agree with you. It'll be nice to get some buffs in this next patch cycle, but you know, for 90% of what I'm doing, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, Endgame
you know,
is where it would matter.
I've never been booted from a group or, you know, not been able to do something because it was a Dark Knight. So, you know, it's good, but I don't think that I care that much about it.
I mean, it's going to help for a lot of people who felt that Dark Knight was just unplayable in raids, whereas that's just objectively was not true. I mean, the first world first for Ultimate was cleared by a Dark Knight and a Paladin. It's not for anyone who says the meta is the meta and you have to play it. I just want you to just.
Oh, I ignore the meta. It's stupid. In this game, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in this game.
It doesn't.
Like there is an ultimate best, but the thing is that anything in this game can do anything, and I feel like that's how it should be because.
Well, that's how they programmed it.
Yeah, and it should be that way. I really dislike the mentality that like, oh, we can only take this group for raid, and if you want to raid, you have to be this job. And no.
I don't think you run into that kind of rigid thinking as much as you used to. You know, I think, yeah, it's not as bad. A lot of that has kind of died down. But I mean, you know, again, a lot of it has died down and subsequently, well, maybe not as a result of, but, you know, we've also seen kind of the break apart of a lot of statics and endgame link shells and stuff over time. So, you know, I would say that the endgame community is very disparate at the moment. So, you know, I do think that is, you know, that you don't run into that attitude as much because you can't, right? Like you can't, if you're going to get picky on what jobs you're going to bring or not bring, then you know what, you're probably not going to end up having a run tonight, you know? Like that's kind of the dire straits that the FF14 overall population is in. And, you know, I think that that's a way bigger problem than, you know, raid composition.
I mean, that's a little column A, little column B there from my experience. If you're in a static, you can be a little bit more picky because certain jobs like Bard, unfortunately, do suffer a lot if they don't have like a Dragoon with them. Not just for piercing, but battle litany. Their whole rotation is wrapped up into crit. And if you're not getting those crits, your whole rotation goes to shit and you can lose a lot of DPS. Whereas something like Dark Knight, it's just how you play the job. If you play the job good, who cares? But you know, it's kind of little column A, little column B, whereas if you're a pug and you're pugging everything, you don't really get to be picky at all. You fill up the party, you go. If you can't clear, it's probably because someone's messing up mechanics. If it's a DPS issue, kick that one guy, find somebody else. Don't worry about the jobs, worry about the mechanics, and you'll clear any raid in this fight, in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that seems to scan. That checks out. So, yeah, thanks for the call. Appreciate hearing from you.
Have a good one.
Thanks. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. We want to hear from you. If you got any opinions about the latest live letter, some of the buffs, some of the changes, Heaven on High, the latest 24-man raid. What are you excited for? We want to hear from you. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. And I did, I have been noticing a bit of a disparity between the tank jobs and, Dark Knight getting the brunt of the, the hate, I guess. I don't know, for lack of a better word.
Can we get Paladin back down in the gutter? Honestly,
yeah. Welcome to what I had to deal with for an entire raid cycle when everyone would yell at me to switch my job, and I said no. Now I'm playing the melee DPS that's wanted the least, so whatever. Fuck off, all of you.
I don't know. I just don't care. You know what I mean? Like all of that kind of endgame posturing of and I understand why certain composition matters, there are definitely certain jobs that have some synergy. I get that. But just like Nutella was saying, with the tank job, as long as you're playing it correctly, then it really shouldn't matter. They should be all fairly interchangeable. I personally would like to see more, more things that make each one of the jobs unique and different from one another. But Square Enix has basically said, listen, we want to program this so that, really anything is acceptable. And if that's the core tenet of your game design, then it doesn't serve the bottom line to make them different.
Yeah, so what would be unique is only in the aesthetic. It makes this game easier to balance.
That's pretty much right on. Yeah, there's some differences. This job gets a gap close. This job doesn't get a gap close, or whatever it is. There are small differences, but in the grand scheme of the way that all jobs operate, most jobs, are more similar than they are dissimilar. Let's put it that way.
I have to add too, when I was first reviewing all of these notes from the live letter and stuff, and I get why, but I was actually pretty disappointed that we didn't get much of a preview of Eureka Pagos at all. I mean, obviously, being more than half a patch out now, they need something to talk about at the next live letter.
What would you expect them to talk about exactly? Like what they're going to do different with Pagos from
Eureka, or from Animos. Yeah. Because remember, one of the things that's hinging right now for us is, yes, what they did with Eureka was a change in the right direction. It shows that they're willing to do some change. But for me at least, the only other big sort of issue that Square Enix needs to work through, besides their shitty storytelling, is they have to show
distribution.
Yeah, they have to show a willingness to take something that people like or something that's worked, and instead of just copy and pasting the exact same thing every iteration, to evolve it and keep what is good and add more to it.
See, now this is what makes me a little bit nervous about them changing some of the, going back and changing Deep Dungeon in any way, shape, or form, right? Because that to me implies like, oh well, we couldn't design two different systems. They have to be the same system. So we have to make some concessions in the old stuff to the new stuff. If they put out Pagos and all of the new stuff that they add to Pagos is also added to Animos, that's going to suck.
It also seems like unnecessary work to have to go back and redo that.
But I mean, if it's if it's one mechanic that you're relying on and it's sort of like a copy paste between the two, if you adjust one in Pagos, it would adjust it in Animo. So it actually may be an indication of lazier development than anything.
Oh my gosh.
It depends on what the system is.
It depends, right? Yeah, and I mean, I say that not knowing what's in Pagos or seeing what's in Pagos, but I didn't expect them to talk about Eureka at all. But you're right.
Really, you didn't?
No, not in this live letter, because especially if they're pushing it off to 3.6.
Yes. As I say, that's what now makes sense to me. If they're gonna
4.3.6, whatever it is. God damn, I just didn't say the 4 point. Thought it was a little bit cumbersome. But no, that to me is they're saving that for another live letter, because they're gonna need something to talk about in another live letter. But I am right there with you that I do want to see how the next set of Notorious Monsters are going to be evolved, right? Like what are you going to change in the pop mechanics? What are you going to change for the requirements to be able to pop those NMs? You know, what kind of creative things can you do with this system that you've designed to be able to challenge the player base, make it harder, make it more interesting, make it more engaging? How do you get it to where it's not just the NM train? There are a couple of core issues that I think that they need to solve moving from Animos to Pagos, but I don't think that, you know, they're going to talk about it just yet.
Let me ask both you and Nika this, right? Because obviously with Eureka, I think that they gained a little bit of favor back with some people. You know, people that were maybe sliding off before, you know, might have found something to hold on to a little bit, right? But, you know, I mean, already a lot of people, even within that first week, had gotten their weapon, had gotten a bunch of their gear and stuff. So if Pagos comes out and it is copy-paste NM train, just upgrading stuff further, do you think that they're going to lose any of the goodwill that they've managed?
They're going to lose all of it. I think they're going to lose all of it.
I think they'll lose a lot of it. I can't confidently say all of it, because I mean, like, I'll probably spend as much time in Pagos as I did in Animos. I got 3 weapons, 2 sets of gear. I will probably do the same thing. I will upgrade those 3 weapons, 2 sets of gear. Stop.
Okay, see, in that vein, though, I think anyone who wasn't falling off, who's just happy and content with what they're getting, fine. I think that they'll just accept, all right, this is just another thing that they've given us, and go on with their day. But I think anyone who felt like this game is lagging and saw Eureka as a potential beacon of light, yeah, if it's copy and paste, NM train, and then 1 Pazuzu, oh man, I can't imagine.
It's definitely going to have a final boss, because we already know
right. But I mean, just
in like the same way.
One.
See, yeah. Again,
it's going to have the same core system for sure. Like, we already know that the 4 fiends of Eureka are going to be the 4 from Mystic Quest or whatever they're from, and so this is going to be the snowy one, and that's just what it's going to be. But the process of getting from the beginning to that final boss has to be different,
or more challenging.
I agree. I think I mean the idea of NM tiers, I think, is something that I would like to see come back and be a little bit more solidified in the system. I also think a great way to be able to break up the NM train is by having force pop items, is by having,
which they actually did mention they were thinking around about how to, I don't know what the right word or terminology is, but basically so that people can't just leech on or show up at the last minute if they haven't put work into it.
If there was force pop items, though, it would almost be the same thing. The train would go to the force pop spot, farm the item until somebody got it, and then go and spawn the NM. It would be the same bullshit.
That's just one way to break it up. I think you know, if you have that as your initial tier, everything that everyone learned from Eureka Animos would be able to be put into play, right? So you've got, I don't know, let's call them 10 NM scattered throughout this map that you need a force pop item to be able to spawn, right? So that takes care of your first tier. That NM that you then kill will, like Pazuzu, drop some kind of item. Not feathers, but some kind of item, right? Those items could be used for entry into a instance. So then that is definitely a way to break up the NM train, because now you're back down to a full party. Right, you're not, you know, you have to change tactics. You have to apply some strategy. You actually, like, the people going in have to know what the fuck they're doing. They're not just going to be mashing on an NM until it dies, or until the higher level people, you know, come in and kill it. Then also the level sync feature would actually serve a purpose. You would actually need to form parties according to level, unlike now where you can just have anyone in there and they'll be collecting XP. If you have your second tier as a, you know, as requiring a an item or a key item for entry, and it's an instance off of the zone that you need to be in the zone to enter. You can't just duty finder into it. I think that is a much more interesting NM system than what we just got with Eureka Animos, and it builds on top of Animos in a very meaningful way, because now you're taking all of the skills that you took from Animos and applying them here in Pagos, and it takes the NM train not completely out of the picture, but for that next tier up, definitely does.
Well, and when we talk about the pop item, I mean, yes, and in its simplest form, it's just an item you get that you put in and something spawns. Okay, now everybody can kill it. But the concept of the pop item is that you put in work to get the right to participate, right?
Right.
So if you actually
same thing with an entry item,
exactly,
right? Like
an entry item.
If you let's say Square Enix enacts something like this system, if all party members needed a item, that means that you would have to spend time farming low tier NMs to be able to make sure that everyone can enter the instance.
Or even if it's just farming normal monsters, you actually have to be registering hits and damage, so when something drops, you get it. That way you can't be one of the people that just stands there just doing AFKs, nothing until it pops up. If you're not actively contributing, you cannot get whatever this item or this status is to go on to the next part.
So, right, like that solves a couple of problems right there.
Quite a few, yeah.
Right. So, I mean, there are definitely some creative thinking that Square Enix could apply here to make this really awesome. Let's go back to our phone lines, and we're going to go ahead and take our last call from Piggy. What's going on, Piggy? On Mateus. What's going on, dude?
What's up, guys? Long time no see.
Yeah, how you doing? Thanks for calling Limit Break Radio.
I'm doing all right. We're gonna drag this conversation back to the new Deep Dungeon.
Okay.
And I don't know, chat might, but I don't know if like our weapons and armor stats from Palace of the Dead are going to transfer to Heaven on High.
Oh, they better not. They shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean,
they're totally separate.
The fact that they're copying the new system over to the other system.
That just sounds like they're adding tokens to Palace of the Dead. That's it. Like, it's not.
But,
I agree it shouldn't, though.
But if it does, like, that's going to eliminate some people from doing it altogether. Like me, if I'm at 99.99, what's the point of going in when I can just go get my weapon right out for the only class I practically play at this point?
I don't think it's going to be like that at all, especially because Palace of the Dead existed when the highest cap was 60, and now we can get to level 70, and so I feel like already the first few floors you're going to be getting from 60 to 70.
Well, and if they did, I think what they would, like in this situation, if I was Square Enix, then in the new one, you would need to be at like weapon level 200 to get it, because yeah, they wouldn't allow you to just have everything saved up. I mean, look at the way that they do tomes.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is that, you know, Square Enix seems to be what's the word, sectioning off, God damn it, what is the word? Partitioning off, compartmentalizing two different parts of the game, where, you know, through tomes and through raiding, they want to try to keep people coming back on a week-to-week basis. That's why we have lockouts and tome caps, right? Then with Eureka, they seem to drop all of that, and they're like, yeah, if you want to get everything in 48 hours, fucking go for it. And I don't think that they have that same approach to Deep Dungeon. I don't think it's going to be as much of a poop-sockable event as, say, Eureka was, because I don't remember the old Deep Dungeon being poop-sockable like that.
Right.
Maybe I'm wrong, though. I didn't do a whole lot of the last Deep Dungeon. So, you know, I think having the requirement to do the previous Deep Dungeon, that's very dangerous. I don't see Square Enix doing that. They don't like to do that prerequisite thing very much. Piggy?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I also had a second question that just now slipped my mind, of course.
Oh, good.
Oh, there it goes. All right. You guys are probably going to agree with me, but I don't think there's any way all the content we're supposed to be getting, even later on with the littler patches, is going to hold us over until the next major story patch.
It depends for me on what the hard levels of Deep Dungeon are, as well as how complicated Eureka is. Because if Eureka is in 4.36, that means there's only, you know, that's pretty close to 4.4 at that point. So it really just depends.
I can't say that anything's first of all, I think it's funny that what you're looking forward to is the next major story patch. I'm more concerned about being staying held on to the next Eureka patch. That's what I'm most concerned about right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I was hoping that after this live letter, after this patch, I'd be like, oh shit, I really need to get on finishing my Eureka stuff now. But I actually probably have another month and a half.
Yeah, reasonably.
Whenever they announce, they actually talk a little bit about the next Eureka, you might feel a little bit more of that. But they haven't gotten to that point yet. They're not going to yet.
I mean, I'm doing that now because I've been not playing this ghost town of a game for a couple months now.
God, it is such a ghost town. It is. I mean, especially and I know that people have been joking about, oh, there's going to be an ESO podcast next, but I mean, I have been putting a little bit of time into ESO, and just to see a populated game world is almost shocking to me.
To be fair, ESO is all on one giant server, and then they create multiple instances as necessary.
Right.
So I think that if 14 was in one giant server, it would feel populated too.
I mean, probably. I mean, it's just there's no compelling reason to go out into the overworld ever. I mean, I've been clearing quests. I've been going back and I'll do dungeons, and then I'll go clear a couple of quests on Machinist just to be able to grab the experience from it. And there's just no one. It is like Piggy said, it's a fucking ghost town. Doesn't matter where you go. Any of the Stormblood zones, fucking ghost town. The only place that people are ever are the city zones. That's it. So why even have an overworld? Why not make your entire world shardless like ESO does, or like
that would
Guild
take
Wars
significant money and upgrades for Square Enix to do.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe for 5.0, that's something that they'll do. We did just get new servers, so don't put too much expectations on them.
That's fair. Piggy, did you have anything else?
No, that's about it. I've been waiting for a part of the episode where I could throw my 2 cents in. Not really happening since I've been so tuned out lately.
Dude, I feel you, man. I feel you. It's a struggle to even want to log in to do roulettes or anything. It's just it sucks, especially this deep into a patch. Like, you really feel it this deep into a patch. Piggy, thanks for the call, man. Yep. Did you have a last point?
I was just gonna say, I want to keep playing the game, but it's just hard when there's nothing to do.
No, I agree. Totally agree. Piggy, man, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Yep. All right, I think that's gonna do it here for today. Appreciate everyone hanging out. It's been an interesting discussion.
It's been an on-point discussion with no Juxta here.
I know, right?
Every time he's not here, we have actual discussion.
It seems like a different show.
Today's episode was brought to you by the slaves of Juxta. Serve him more die-hash praise Juxta.
Okay.
That's just weird. It's when he's not here to follow it up with some dumb comment, it's just weird.
Yeah.
I don't know how to respond to it.
Right. All right, guys, that's going to be it for Limit Break Radio. Thanks so much for listening today. Appreciate having you along, all 147 of you. Stay tuned, because we're going to send out a host over to Checkpoint Radio. By the way, a couple of things about Checkpoint Radio. The Checkpoint Radio Twitch channel can now accept subscribers. Woo! So if you have a couple of bucks lying around and you want to get access to that sweet Checkpoint chat emote, then head on over to Checkpoint Radio, or twitch.tv/Checkpoint Radio. We're going to send a host out there in a second to go subscribe to the channel. It does help support everything that we do here at Limit Break Radio. Also, patreon.com/Limit Break Radio to support the show. We are officially above $1,300 the last time I looked, which means that the Let's Be Real podcast is going to be starting up in about 3 weeks. All right, so we're going to get that together. We're going to start that up, and it's going to be a monthly show until it hits the funding requirement. Mm-hmm. So as long as it stays above 1,300, and I want to thank everyone that's been generously giving over at patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. As long as it stays above 1,300, the Let's Be Real podcast will remain a once-a-month show. So you'll be able to pick that up at our podcast feeds, the Final Encountercast feed. We will eventually get lbrnetwork.com running. Zemlis has fallen off the face of the earth. So
yeah, I haven't seen actually anything with him either.
I know, it's driving me crazy. So we're definitely going to get lbrnetwork.com up and running as soon as we can. But expect about 3 weeks until the first episode of the Let's Be Real podcast. But that's going to be it for Limit Break Radio. Stay tuned, because coming up next over at twitch.tv/Checkpoint Radio, we're going to have the weekly re-air of the Checkpoint Radio show. This was a great show. And by the way, if you're sort of used to us doing the live show a certain way over at Checkpoint, we tried something new, and we actually are featuring music from Weird at Last's brand new album called The Darkest Timeline. So if you like the music that we use over on Checkpoint, the latest album from the chip punk rock band Weird at Last, they floated us a whole bunch of instrumentals. We use them even on the live show. So stay tuned if you want to catch a little bit of a preview of that next. That's coming up over at twitch.tv/Checkpoint Radio. I want to thank all of our callers today. We had a lot of callers. Thank you so much. Appreciate all of you guys helping to get Skuro fired. I think Lloyd did a pretty good job. I think Lloyd was
he was actually doing stuff. Like, I thought he was just going to shadow today, but yeah, excellent. No, Kookie said we need to make him a mod on the Discord, but other than that, he was doing everything he could.
Excellent. Well, great. Lloyd, you did a fine job. Way better than Skuro. So we're going to start giving you some more responsibilities here between Limit Break Radio and Checkpoint. But thanks, guys, so much for tuning in today. For the Limit Break Radio crew, Kahlo and Nika, I'm Aniro. Keep listening. Limit Break Radio is a production of LimitBreakRadio.com and Bender Media Productions. This episode was produced by Kahlo Landis, Juxtaposition, and Kookie Persona. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square Enix. Funding for Limit Break Radio is provided by Miri Kennett, Nexian Theta, Hirsch Fersch, Tyne Viera, and fellow Limit Break Radio listeners. To support Limit Break Radio, visit patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. Opening music in this episode from Daniel Lambie. Listen to Man with the Machine Gun and other great tracks at facebook.com/Daniel Lambie Metal Gamer. Closing music in this episode provided by Husky by the Geek. Listen to this and other great Final Fantasy XIV and video game rock covers and original music at facebook.com/Husky by the Geek. In-game graphics for Limit Break Radio's Twitch stream are provided by Diamond Multimedia. Check out their line of AMD graphics cards and other hardware at diamondmm.com. Limit Break Radio and its hosts are solely responsible for its content.